Good afternoon, my dear students and friends. Myself, Dr. Ravikant Pathak, and I'm going to start your video lecture class. And I'm going to start after long days because I was taking the crash course class and I was extremely busy, so I could not upload any video. So now today we will start new chapter, and the name of chapter is the breathing and exchange of gases. So this is the name of chapter. So here you can say in this figure, so there is the two lungs, one got destructed. This is showing. Now first of all we will see the difference between breathing and respiration. So what is the breathing? Breathing, you can say this is the physical. You have to see if any people are taking the inspiration and expiration. If the performing inspiration and expiration, that is the breathing. So here they again, intake of fresh air and removal of the foul air. That means inspiration and expiration. That is called breathing. Here oxidation of food to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. So that means you can say oxidation of food to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. This is the respiration. It is a physical process. That means we have to see it is the body level process, and here this is the biochemical process. In case of the breathing, no energy released. That means you can say there is no energy released. But in case of the respiration, there is the energy release and in the form of ATP, because this is the biochemical form of energy that you can say ATP. It is the extracellular process. It is the extracellular means at the body level we can see, but this is the respiration is the intracellular process. We can't see. It is going inside the cell. No enzymes involved in case of the breathing. No enzymes involved, but here respiration there is the enzymes involved, and you know that is the fastest enzyme carbonic anhydrase which involves in the respiration phenomenon. And it is confined to the certain organs. Certain organs means you can say it generally involves nose, respiratory organs and lungs. But here it means respiration occurs in the all of the cell body, because we know very well our body is made up of the cells, and this is the cellular respiration means every body of every cell of the body. So that means they will perform this respiration process. Okay, now next here they have given the types of respiration. So there is the two different types of the respiration. First is the aerobic respiration and another is the anaerobic respiration. So we are going to start first of all anaerobic respiration. What is the anaerobic respiration? Anaerobic respiration means you can say there is no need of the oxygen. So such type of the respiration where is no need of the oxygen molecules means oxidized without the use of oxygen molecules, means oxidation of nutrient or biomolecules. That means glucose, glucose, fat or amino acid, means anything. The oxidation of the biomolecules without use of the oxygen, that is called the anaerobic respiration. And anaerobic respiration, this also fermentation, this is also known as the fermentation. If anybody will ask with you what is the difference between anaerobic respiration, fermentation and aerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration, there is no, that means the terminal electron acceptor molecule. In case of the anaerobic respiration, the terminal electron acceptor molecules is the inorganic molecules. And in case of the aerobic respiration, the terminal electron acceptor molecules is the oxygen molecules. And in case of the fermentation, so fermentation there is the terminal electron acceptor molecule is the organic molecule like alcohol and lactic acid, like that. Okay. So next here they have been in, it is anaerobic respiration found in the yeast, and this yeast, that is also known as the beverage yeast, okay, which have ability to glucose, and this glucose undergo the glycolysis, because glycolysis is the linking step. Whether it is going aerobic or anaerobic, everywhere glycolysis perform. Sometimes they already asked a question. So glycolysis is the aerobic or anaerobic. So strictly you can say this is the anaerobic respiration. Okay. And in case of the yeast, the glucose forms the ethyl alcohol and CO2. Glucose forms the ethyl alcohol and CO2. So this is called the alcoholic fermentation. In bacteria and mussels, glucose is converted into the lactic acid. So that means how it form the lactic acid. Suppose that anyone is going to jogging. Okay, so suppose that this is the track. This is the track, and one people is jogging. Okay, and jogging or running. So that time if you are running, so our body could not get the proper oxygen, and our muscles, they have started to anaerobic respiration. And when muscles have started to anaerobic respiration, so there is the accumulation of lactic acid in the muscle cells takes place, and these lactic acid cannot be utilized by the muscle cells, and due to this we generally feel the tired. Okay, we generally felt the tired. Okay, and when we will stop the run, so that time we can get the proper oxygen molecules. We can get the proper oxygen molecules, and when we will get the proper oxygen molecules, so now our body perform the aerobic respiration. And these lactic acids with the Cori cycle, that means through the blood pass into the liver, and it lactic acid converted into the glucose, and glucose further pass into the muscles where they can utilize as a normally. Okay, and in case of the RBC cells also perform the anaerobic respiration. Why? Because RBC cells have no nucleus, no mitochondria. And mitochondria is the site where the aerobic respiration takes place. Muscles, we already discussed. Endoparasites are anaerobic in nature. So you should to learn endoparasites, those which is found in the basically intestine, parasites of intestine, like tapeworm, ascaris. So tapeworm and ascaris. So these are the anaerobic. They generally perform the anaerobic respiration. Okay. One very interesting story about the anaerobic respiration. This is also parasite, but it is not the parasite of the intestine. That is the plasmodium. So plasmodium perform the aerobic respiration. I am saying parasites means only those parasites which is found in the intestine, they perform the anaerobic respiration, and not that is malaria. Malaria perform the aerobic that means yes, malaria, that is the parasite of the plasmodium. Parasite of the plasmodium. So that is which cause the disease malaria. So plasmodium perform the aerobic respiration. Now we will see second type of the respiration, that is called the aerobic respiration. Here aerobic respiration, where the need of the oxygen, that means the nutrients are oxidized. Here complete oxidized, that means complete oxidation takes place. The nutrients are get oxidized with the use of oxygen. So we here with the use of oxygen, and they release oxygen may be obtained from air or obtained from the water. Okay. So this is the aerobic respiration, and sometimes students got confused. Respiration is the catabolic or anabolic or amphibolic. So you should to learn respiration is always amphibolic pathway, because firstly catabolism, then anabolism. In case of the anabolism means synthesis of ATP, and catabolism means degradation of the food. So it means you can say respiration is the amphibolic pathway. Okay. Now respiration, this is the aerobic respiration. They produce the much amount of ATP because there is the three steps involved: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport system. And we know very well in case of the aerobic respiration, there is the Krebs cycle run, and Krebs cycle run inside the mitochondria. Means every cells which have the mitochondria, they perform the aerobic respiration. Now according to scientist G.S. Carter, what they have give the explanation, they told like that it involves in the three steps of the respiration. So respiration completed into the three steps. First is the external respiration, second is the internal respiration, and third is the cellular respiration. External respiration means simply you can say breathing. We have to see in the last slide what is the breathing. Okay, so breathing means here you can say the exchange of gases between environment and lung. So exchange of gases between environment and lung, so that is called the external respiration. Internal respiration, exchange of gases between blood and tissue, so that is called the internal respiration. And last one is the cellular respiration. That means we have to see breathing and respiration. So cellular respiration means oxidation of nutrient in the cell and release of energy, that is you can say oxidation of the food, and this is the cellular respiration. So there is the three different types of the respiration. So we have to see, first is the external respiration, second is the internal respiration, and third is the cellular respiration. Now in the next slide, what we will see about the different respiratory organ in the different animals. Okay, firstly we will see the lower invertebrates, then vertebrates. Okay, so mechanism of breathing very different among different groups of the animals, mainly on their habitats and level of organization. So firstly, lower invertebrate. Here you can say sponges, coelenterate, flatworms. So there is the respiration takes place through the body surface. Okay, and via the simple diffusion phenomenon. In case of the earthworm, there is the moist cuticle. They have the moist cuticle by which they perform the respiration. And insects, basically we have to study about the cockroach. Cockroach, that is the Periplaneta americana. So Periplaneta americana, we already studied about them. So we have to see like that they have the network of the tube which is known as the tracheal tubes, and these tracheal tubes opens outside through the spiracles, and by which atmospheric air enters into inside the body and respiration takes place. In case of the aquatic arthropods and mollusks, both have the gills, and they perform the respiration through the gills. Okay, vascularized bags called lungs used by the terrestrial mollusks, that is the Phyla globosa, which is also known as the apple sun, and this is the freshwater animal. This is the very important feature of the Phyla globosa. This is the freshwater animal, and this is the terrestrial mollusk. You can say this is the terrestrial mollusk, and this also perform the respiration through the lungs. Okay, that means they have given the bag like what it have given, that is the bags called lungs which perform the respiration. Now vertebrates, fishes use the gills, and reptiles, birds, mammals, they have the lungs, and amphibians like frogs can respire through the moist skin also. So this is the different respiratory organ and their respiration method. Now we will see in the next, there is the example of the different animals and their phylum. They have also given the different phylum and their example. Okay, first of all, protozoa, amoeba and paramecium. There is the the respiration takes place through the plasma lemma, that means plasma membrane and pellicle. And in case of the sponges, that is the cycon, they also plasma membrane, means through the body surface we have already seen. Cnidaria, body wall, and Ctenophora, that is the palm jelly Ctenophora, they also the body wall. Okay, next is the next phylum Platyhelminthes, free living planaria, they perform the body surface, and parasite like liver and liver fluke and tapeworm, they perform the anaerobic respiration, no gaseous exchange. We have to see already in the anaerobic respiration. Next is the nematohelminthes, that is the esculminthes. They have the free living, that is the rhabditis, body surface, and parasite, that is the ascaris. It is also intestinal parasite, means anaerobic respiration. Annelids, they have the moist cutaneous skin, which also perform the respiration. Arthropods, basically you can say gills, that is the branchial respiration. And here insects like centipodes, millipods, and different animals, so different insects, that is the tracheal respiration. And scorpion, spider, there is the book lungs, which also perform the different types of the respiration. Okay, so here you can say book lungs and mites, that is the cutaneous respiration, and limulus king crab, there is the book gills, which perform the respiration phenomenon. Okay, now here you can say this is the lower invertebrates, and then we will see about the higher invertebrates, how they perform. So here also they have given the large number of example. We will see. First you can see here they have given the animal mollusca, they have the unio and phyla, and these mollusca, they have also the respiratory organ, that is the Ctenidia gills, and also one pulmonary sac lung in the phyla. So I had already told Phyla, there is the respiratory organ, that is the pulmonary sac, which is called the lung. And echinoderms, starfish, they have the dermal branchia, which is known as the tube feet. This is the respiratory organ. Hemichordata, melanoglossus, pharyngeal wall, and chordata. So chordata, they have the different like urochordata, cephalochordata, and vertebrata. So they have the three division we know very well. So here urochordata, so that is the hardmania. Hardmania, they have the pharyngeal wall which perform the respiration, and cephalochordata, pharyngeal wall. Vertebrata, basically fishes, cyclostomes, fishes, and tadpole. They perform the respiration through the gills. And amphibians like frogs through the skin, buccopharyngeal cavity, and lungs, they also perform the respiratory phenomenon. And last is the reptile, birds, mammals. They have the well-developed lungs by which they perform their respiration phenomenon. Okay, so now we are going to finish your class, and thank you for your patience and cooperation.